The smell of roasted turkey and cinnamon filled the Anderson family home, but Marcus felt his stomach churning as he sat at the dinner table surrounded by his wife's relatives. 23 people crammed into the dining room, their laughter echoing off the walls decorated with twinkling lights and garlands. He had driven 3 hours to be here, hoping this Christmas might repair what had been broken between him and Jennifer over the past year. Jennifer sat at the opposite end of the table, her smile tight and practiced. Her mother, Patricia, kept shooting him disapproving glances while serving the mashed potatoes. Her father, Richard, hadn't spoken to him directly since they arrived. Marcus had grown accustomed to being the outsider in this family, but today felt different. There was an electricity in the air, a tension that made his skin prickle. "Everyone, I have an announcement," Jennifer said suddenly, standing and tapping her wine glass with a fork. The room fell silent, all eyes turning toward her. Marcus felt his heart rate quicken. "I wanted all of you here today because family is everything to me. You've all supported me through a very difficult year." Marcus gripped his napkin under the table. Where was she going with this? As most of you know, my marriage to Marcus has been struggling. He's been so focused on his little business ventures, his dreams that go nowhere, while I've been carrying this relationship on my back. She paused for effect, and several family members nodded sympathetically. "Well, I'm done carrying dead weight." Marcus felt the blood drain from his face as Jennifer reached into her designer handbag and pulled out a manila envelope. She walked around the table toward him, her heels clicking on the hardwood floor, and dropped the envelope in front of his plate with a dramatic flourish. "Merry Christmas, Marcus. I'm filing for divorce. The papers are all drawn up. All you need to do is sign them." The room erupted. Jennifer's sisters immediately stood to embrace her, offering words of support and encouragement. Her brother Jason actually started clapping, and soon others joined in. Patricia wiped away theatrical tears while declaring how proud she was of her daughter for finally finding the courage. Richard raised his glass in a toast to Jennifer's independence and strength. Marcus sat frozen, staring at the envelope as chaos swirled around him. His hands trembled slightly, but he kept them in his lap. He had known things were bad, but this public humiliation, this calculated cruelty, was beyond anything he had imagined Jennifer capable of. "Aren't you going to say anything?" Jennifer demanded, her voice cutting through the celebration. "No begging? No tears?" That's typical Marcus, emotionally unavailable until the very end. Marcus looked up at her, his dark eyes steady despite the storm raging inside him. He saw it then, behind her triumphant smile, the insecurity, the need for validation, the desire to break him in front of everyone who mattered to her. She wanted him to crumble, to give her family one final show of his inadequacy. Instead, he reached for the envelope with calm, deliberate movements. He opened it and scanned the divorce papers, his expression unreadable. The room had grown quiet again, everyone watching to see how he would react. Jennifer crossed her arms, waiting for her victory to be complete. "These terms are interesting," Marcus said quietly, his voice surprisingly steady. "You want the house, the car, half my business, and alimony." "That's right," Jennifer said smugly. "It's only fair compensation for putting up with you for 5 years." Marcus carefully placed the papers back in the envelope and stood. At 6 feet tall, he had a presence that commanded attention when he chose to use it. He looked around the room at the sea of hostile faces, people who had never truly accepted him, who had always made him feel like Jennifer was doing him a favor by being with him. "I'll have my lawyer review these," he said simply. Then he turned to Jennifer, his expression unreadable. "Merry Christmas, Jennifer. I hope this moment was everything you wanted it to be. You certainly planned it well." He walked toward the door, grabbing his coat from the rack. Behind him, the family erupted again, this time in mockery and derision, calling him a coward, telling him not to let the door hit him on the way out. Jennifer's voice rose above the others, making some final cutting remark about his inability to fight for anything. Marcus stepped out into the cold December evening and closed the door behind him. The muffled sounds of their laughter followed him to his car. He sat in the driver's seat for a long moment, hands on the steering wheel, breathing slowly and deliberately. Then he pulled out his phone and made a call. "David? It's Marcus." "Yeah, It happened exactly as we thought it might. She did it publicly, made a whole show of it." He paused, listening. "No, I didn't sign anything. I'm going to need you to file those counterpapers first thing after Christmas." "Yes, all of them. And David? Make sure everything we discussed is included. She wants to play games? Let's show her what happens when you underestimate someone." He started the car and drove away from the Anderson family home, leaving behind the sound of their celebration. They had no idea what was coming. None of them did. And that suited Marcus just fine. Marcus spent Christmas night in his downtown apartment, a small space he had rented 6 months ago when things with Jennifer became unbearable. She had insisted he was being dramatic, claimed he was abandoning their marriage by getting his own place. The truth was simpler. He needed space to think, to plan, and to protect what he had built. The apartment was sparse but functional. A laptop sat on the small dining table, surrounded by manila folders and documents. While Jennifer had been planning her Christmas ambush, Marcus had been conducting his own quiet investigation. He opened his laptop and pulled up the folder labeled Evidence. 6 months ago, Marcus had noticed changes in Jennifer's behavior. She became secretive with her phone, started working late more frequently, and showed a sudden interest in their finances that she had never demonstrated before. She asked pointed questions about his business, his patents, his investment accounts. At the time, he had hoped she was finally taking an interest in their life together. He had been naive. The first real evidence came from their credit card statements. Jennifer had been charging expensive dinners at restaurants they never went to together, buying gifts Marcus never received, making purchases at hotels in their own city. When he asked about these charges, she became defensive and accused him of being controlling. Marcus hired a private investigator named Sarah Chen, a former police detective with an impeccable reputation. What Sarah uncovered exceeded his worst fears. Jennifer wasn't just having an affair, she was conducting one with her boss, Daniel Whitmore, the married CEO of the marketing firm where she worked. The affair had been going on for 14 months. But it was deeper than simple infidelity. Sarah's investigation revealed that Jennifer and Daniel had been planning for months to leave their respective spouses. They had opened a joint bank account, looked at condos together, and most damning of all, Jennifer had been systematically trying to undervalue Marcus's business assets in preparation for the divorce. Marcus pulled up the surveillance photos Sarah had taken. Jennifer and Daniel at a restaurant, holding hands across the table. Jennifer and Daniel entering a hotel together on a Tuesday afternoon. Jennifer and Daniel shopping for furniture, laughing and kissing in the parking lot. The photos were time-stamped and geo-tagged, irrefutable evidence of the affair. His phone buzzed. It was a text from his lawyer, David Richardson, reviewed everything. "This is even better than I thought. Her lawyer has no idea what's coming. Get some rest. Tomorrow we change everything." Marcus set down his phone and pulled up another folder, this one labeled Business Assets. Jennifer had consistently dismissed his work, calling his software development company a hobby that would never amount to anything real. She mocked his late nights coding, his meetings with investors, his careful planning and strategy. What she didn't know was that 3 months ago, Marcus's company had been acquired by a major tech corporation for $18 million. The deal had been structured carefully, with most of the payout coming in stages over 3 years. The initial payment of $3 million had already been deposited into accounts Jennifer knew nothing about. Marcus had consulted with David about asset protection the moment he knew his marriage was failing. He had been meticulous about keeping the acquisition quiet, signing non-disclosure agreements, ensuring that no public announcements were made. Jennifer thought she was divorcing a struggling entrepreneur with a few $1,000s in business assets. She had no idea she had just walked away from a multimillionaire. But Marcus's counter-strategy went beyond just protecting his assets. He had documentation of Jennifer's affair, proof that she had begun the relationship before their separation, which was crucial in their state's divorce laws. He had evidence of her attempts to hide and undervalue marital assets, which constituted fraud. And he had something else, proof that Jennifer had been feeding confidential information about his business to Daniel, hoping to help Daniel's company poach Marcus's clients. Marcus pulled up an email chain Sarah had recovered. Jennifer had been using her personal email to send Daniel detailed information about Marcus's business strategies, client lists, and proprietary software features. In one email, she explicitly stated that she was providing this information to help Daniel's company gain a competitive advantage. That wasn't just a betrayal of their marriage, it was corporate espionage, potentially criminal, and definitely grounds for a lawsuit. The irony was that Jennifer's scheme had failed. The clients she thought would be valuable to Daniel were actually the smaller accounts. The major acquisition that made Marcus wealthy had come from a different direction entirely, from connections and work Jennifer knew nothing about because she had never bothered to truly understand what he did. His phone rang. It was his mother, Diane, calling from California. "Marcus, honey, I just got off the phone with your sister. She heard what happened. Are you okay?" Marcus smiled slightly. His family had never liked Jennifer, had always seen through her superficial charm to the calculating person beneath. They had warned him, gently at first and then more insistently, that Jennifer valued status and money more than genuine connection. He had been too in love to listen. "I'm fine, Mom. Better than fine, actually." "What are you going to do?" "I'm going to let her bury herself," Marcus said calmly. "She thinks she's won. She thinks she humiliated me in front of everyone who matters to her. But she made this public, turned it into a spectacle. When the truth comes out, everyone who laughed at me yesterday will see exactly who she is. Be careful, Marcus. Don't let revenge consume you." "This isn't revenge, Mom. This is justice. There's a difference." After hanging up, Marcus returned to his documents. He had one more folder to review, the prenuptial agreement. Jennifer had insisted they sign one before the wedding, certain that her career and family money made her the primary breadwinner. The prenup protected assets brought into the marriage and those kept separate during it. Jennifer's lawyer had drawn it up, confident it protected her interests. What they hadn't anticipated was that Marcus's major wealth would be generated after the marriage but kept completely separate from joint accounts. The prenup actually protected Marcus more than Jennifer, though neither she nor her lawyer had been smart enough to see it. Marcus closed his laptop and looked out the window at the city lights. Tomorrow, David would file the counterpetition. The document would outline Marcus's terms: no alimony for Jennifer, an equal split only of truly marital assets, and a demand that Jennifer pay back funds she had taken from their joint accounts to support her affair. The filing would also include notice of Marcus's intention to pursue legal action against Jennifer for corporate espionage and against Daniel Whitmore and his company for receiving stolen trade secrets. Whether Marcus would actually follow through on that lawsuit depended on how Jennifer responded to the divorce counterfiling. He had given her 5 years of his life, his loyalty, his love. He had supported her career, attended countless dinners with her dismissive family, tolerated being made to feel small and inadequate. He had done everything he could to make their marriage work, even as Jennifer had checked out emotionally long ago. But he wasn't the broken, defeated man Jennifer and her family thought he was. He had built something remarkable while they were mocking him. He had prepared for this moment while they were underestimating him. And now, he was going to show them the cost of their cruelty. Marcus pulled out a bottle of whiskey and poured himself a small glass. He raised it toward the window, toward the general direction of the Anderson family home. "Merry Christmas, Jennifer," he said quietly. "You wanted a war. You're about to find out you picked the wrong enemy." He drank, set down the glass, and went to bed. Tomorrow, everything would change. And this time, he would be the one controlling the narrative. The week between Christmas and New Year's was typically quiet in the legal world, but David Richardson made an exception for Marcus. On December 27th, at precisely 9 in the morning, a process server delivered Marcus's counterpetition to Jennifer at her parents' house. Marcus was in David's office when his lawyer's phone rang. David listened, grinned, and put the call on speaker. "This is insane." Jennifer's lawyer, Patricia Knowles, was shouting, "Your client cannot be serious with these demands." "Ms. Knowles," David said calmly, "I suggest you review the documentation we included. Everything is substantiated with photographs, financial records, emails, and witness statements. Your client has been conducting an affair with Daniel Whitmore for over a year, attempted to defraud my client by undervaluing his business assets, and stole proprietary information." Silence. Then Jennifer's voice, "I want to talk to Marcus." Right now. David looked at Marcus, who shook his head. My client declines. All communication goes through counsel. Tell him he's making a huge mistake, Jennifer said sharply. Tell him I'll drag him through every court. Ms. Anderson, David interrupted. I strongly advise you to review the evidence before making threats. My client has been generous in limiting this to divorce proceedings. If you make this contentious, he's prepared to pursue criminal charges for theft of trade secrets, which carries up to 10 years in prison and $250,000 in fines. Another silence. Patricia Knowles came back on, her voice measured. We'll need time to review everything. We'll expect your response by January 3rd, David said. And Ms. Knowles? I'd advise your client to stop discussing this matter. Several people from Christmas Day may be called as witnesses. After the call ended, David turned to Marcus. That went perfectly. She knows she's exposed. Question is whether Jennifer is smart enough to settle or stubborn enough to go to discovery. She'll try to negotiate, Marcus said. But first, she'll reach out through back channels. Marcus was right. That evening, texts from Jennifer started flooding in. Marcus, please. Can we just talk like adults? I made mistakes, but so did you. We need to compromise. When he didn't respond, she called. He let it go to voicemail. Marcus, I'm sorry about Christmas. I was hurt and angry. But threatening me with criminal charges? This isn't the man I married. Please, call me. We need to talk privately, without lawyers. Marcus deleted it without finishing. He knew her playbook: isolate him from his lawyer, use emotional manipulation. She wanted him to feel guilty for protecting himself. His phone buzzed again. Unknown number. He answered. Marcus. It's Richard, Jennifer's father. Marcus waited silently. Look, son, things got carried away on Christmas. But this legal situation is getting out of hand. Can't you two work this out? Richard, I'm not your son. I never was, as your family made clear for 5 years. And no, we can't work this out privately. Jennifer made this public when she served me papers in front of 23 people. She wanted an audience for my humiliation. Now she has one for the truth. You're going to destroy her career. She should have thought about that before she stole my business information, Marcus said coldly. And before you advocate for Jennifer again, know that I have recordings of conversations where she told your family my business was worthless. Those demonstrate deliberate misrepresentation. You recorded private conversations. No, Richard. Jennifer did. She recorded family dinners on her phone. She was careless about storage. The line went dead. Marcus smiled grimly. The Andersons were learning he wouldn't be bullied. The next days brought desperate contact attempts. Patricia called, alternating between manipulation and threats. Jason texted calling Marcus a vindictive bastard. Rachel tried appealing to his better nature. Marcus ignored them all. Every attempt was documented for evidence. On January 2nd, David called. Jennifer's lawyer wants to meet. They're ready to negotiate. The meeting took place in a neutral conference room. Marcus sat beside David, facing Jennifer and Patricia Knowles. Jennifer looked different, her confidence cracked, eyes red-rimmed. Patricia opened a portfolio. We've reviewed your evidence. We're prepared to accept modified terms. My client agrees to no alimony, equal split of marital assets only, and will return funds taken from joint accounts. In exchange, Mr. Barrett won't pursue legal action regarding alleged corporate espionage and will sign a non-disclosure agreement. David glanced at Marcus, who nodded slightly. It was expected. Jennifer wanted to escape criminal exposure. We need additions, David said. First, Ms. Anderson resigns from Whitmore Marketing within 30 days. Second, she provides a written apology to Mr. Barrett. Third, she makes a public statement to her family acknowledging she misrepresented Mr. Barrett's character and business success. Jennifer's face flushed. Absolutely not. I'm not humiliating myself. You humiliated Marcus on Christmas in front of your entire family, David interrupted. These terms are extraordinarily generous given your criminal exposure. I'm not apologizing to him. Marcus spoke quietly but firmly. Then we go to trial. Everything becomes public record. The affair, theft, fraud. Daniel gets subpoenaed, probably fired. Your family testifies under oath about conversations where you mocked me and plotted to take everything. He leaned forward. Or you accept these terms, preserve some dignity, and move forward. Those are your options. Jennifer, you don't get a third choice where you avoid consequences. Silence. Jennifer stared at Marcus as if seeing him clearly for the first time. I need to speak with my client privately, Patricia said. David and Marcus stepped out. In the hallway, David said, well played. She's taking the deal. I know, Marcus said. She has no other choice. 15 minutes later, they were called back. Jennifer's eyes were downcast. Patricia spoke. We accept your terms, with one modification. The family statement can be made privately at a gathering rather than in writing, with your attorney present to verify. Marcus considered. Agreed. But it happens within 2 weeks, and I get a written statement matching what she says. Deal, Patricia said, extending her hand. As they finalized paperwork, Jennifer looked at Marcus. How long were you planning this? I wasn't planning anything, Marcus said. I was protecting myself. You chose to betray me. I just decided not to let you profit from it. They left separately. In the elevator, David said, most people would feel satisfaction right now. But you look empty. I spent 5 years loving someone who saw me as a stepping stone, Marcus said. Winning doesn't fix that. It just means I don't lose anything else. The doors opened, and Marcus stepped into the cold afternoon. He had won, but victory tasted like ashes. Still, better than being destroyed by someone who never valued him. In 2 weeks, Jennifer would face her family. But for Marcus, the real reckoning had happened. He discovered who he was without Jennifer, what he was capable of when pushed. And he learned the hardest lesson. Sometimes the people you love are least capable of loving you back. The Anderson family gathering was scheduled for January 14th at Richard and Patricia's home, the same house where Jennifer had served Marcus divorce papers on Christmas. This time, the atmosphere was decidedly different. Marcus arrived with David Richardson at 3 in the afternoon. They entered to find the family assembled in the living room, their faces showing hostility, curiosity, and resentment. Jennifer sat on the couch, her mother beside her. Richard stood by the fireplace, arms crossed. I don't understand why he needs to be here, Patricia said, glaring at Marcus. Haven't you humiliated Jennifer enough? Mrs. Anderson, David said professionally, my client is here to ensure the settlement terms are met. Your daughter agreed to make a full disclosure about the divorce circumstances. We're here to verify she does so. Making her confess like some criminal, Jason muttered. Perhaps reserve judgment until you hear what your sister has to say, Marcus replied calmly. He took a seat across from the family, David standing beside him with a recording device. Jennifer stood, hands trembling. She had aged in 2 weeks. The confident woman who served papers with theatrical flair was gone. I asked you here because I need to tell you the truth about my marriage and divorce, Jennifer began unsteadily. What I told you on Christmas wasn't complete. Most of it was lies. Patricia started to interrupt, but Richard silenced her with a raised hand. I told you Marcus was a failure, that his business was going nowhere, that I was carrying our marriage financially. That wasn't true. Jennifer took a deep breath. Marcus's software company was acquired 3 months ago for $18 million. While I mocked his work, he was building something remarkable. While I told you he was worthless, he was becoming wealthy. The room erupted in shocked murmurs. Rachel looked at Marcus with wide eyes, recalculating everything. But that's not even the worst of it, Jennifer continued. I've been having an affair with my boss, Daniel Whitmore, for 14 months. I've been planning to leave Marcus to be with Daniel. The Christmas divorce papers weren't about Marcus's failings. They were about me wanting out for someone else. Jennifer, no, Patricia whispered. But Jennifer kept talking. I told Daniel confidential information about Marcus's business. I committed corporate espionage. I stole trade secrets and gave them to a competitor. Marcus could have had me arrested. He could have had both Daniel and me charged with crimes carrying prison time. The room fell silent, everyone staring at Jennifer with shock and disappointment. I also tried to defraud Marcus in the divorce, Jennifer said, voice barely audible. I deliberately undervalued his business because I thought it was worth nothing. I was trying to take everything while giving him as little as possible. When he got his own apartment, I told you he was abandoning me. The truth is, I made our home so toxic he needed space to survive. She finally looked at Marcus, tears streaming. Marcus was a good husband. He was loyal, hardworking, and kind. He supported my career, put up with my family treating him poorly, and tried everything to make our marriage work. And I repaid him by cheating, lying, and trying to destroy him financially. The failure of our marriage is entirely my fault. Patricia stood abruptly. Jennifer, you don't have to do this. He's forcing you. No, Mom, Jennifer said firmly. He's not forcing me except to tell the truth. The truth that I've been lying for over a year. The truth that I served him papers on Christmas as cruel public humiliation because I wanted to feel powerful. The truth that he could have destroyed me legally, but instead offered a settlement that lets me keep dignity. She turned to her family. I'm telling you this because you need to know who Marcus really is, and who I am. When I served those papers and you applauded, I thought I was winning. But Marcus had known about my affair for months. He had evidence of everything. He could have exposed me that day, humiliated me like I was humiliating him. But he didn't. He waited. He protected himself legally. He responded strategically instead of emotionally. Jason stood, face red. So we're supposed to feel sorry for him now. Marcus spoke for the first time. Jason, I never asked for your sympathy or apology. I asked for truth. Your sister made my private pain into public entertainment. She wanted you all to witness what she thought was my defeat. I'm simply ensuring you witness the truth as well. He stood, buttoning his coat. Jennifer has fulfilled the agreement terms. The divorce will be finalized within 60 days. Jennifer receives her share of actual marital assets, the house, cars, joint savings before my acquisition. I keep the business assets I built. No alimony, no ongoing connection. Wait, Rachel said, standing. Marcus, I'm sorry. We treated you horribly. Every family dinner, every holiday, we made you feel unwelcome. You never deserved that. Marcus looked at her. Rachel, I appreciate that. But you didn't treat me badly because of who I was. You treated me badly because Jennifer told you I was worthless, and you believed her. The problem wasn't your behavior. It was that you took Jennifer's word without getting to know me. He moved toward the door, David following. But Patricia's voice stopped him. Mr. Barrett. Her tone was different now, without condescension. What will you do now? Marcus turned back. I'm going to keep building my company. Spend time with people who value me. Travel, create, invest in things I believe in. I'm going to live the life I planned, just without the person I thought I'd share it with. He glanced at Jennifer one final time. I hope you find what you're looking for. But I hope you understand now that using people and discarding them when they're no longer useful isn't love. It's cruelty. And cruelty always comes back around. As Marcus and David walked to the car, David shook his head. 20 years practicing family law. Never seen anything like that. How do you feel? Tired, Marcus admitted. But free. For the first time in years, I feel free. His phone buzzed with a text from his mother. Proud of you, honey. Come visit soon. You deserve to be with people who love you. Marcus smiled and typed back, I will, Mom. After all this, I finally understand what I deserve. They drove away from the Anderson house, leaving behind the family that never accepted him and the woman who never loved him. Marcus watched the house disappear in the rearview mirror and felt something shift. Not happiness exactly, but possibility. The weight he'd carried was finally lifting. The next day, Jennifer's written statement arrived, documenting everything she told her family. David filed it with the court. Within a week, word spread through Jennifer's social circle about the real divorce reasons. Several people reached out to Marcus with apologies. Marcus declined most of them. He had learned about fair-weather friends who only appeared once his success was public. The people worth having in his life valued him before the acquisition, before the money. But there was one call he accepted, from his old college friend Michael, who ran a tech startup. "Man, I heard what happened," Michael said. "That's brutal. But I also heard about your acquisition. Congratulations. You always said that code would change things." "Thanks, Mike. It's been rough, but I'm coming out the other side. Listen, some of us are getting together next weekend. Small group, people from the old days. No networking, no business talk, just friends. You could use some normalcy." Marcus felt something warm in his chest, genuine friendship, offered without agenda. "Yeah, Mike. That sounds perfect." As he hung up, Marcus looked around his apartment. It wouldn't be home much longer. He was already looking at properties, planning his next chapter. A place with space for a home office, maybe closer to family, somewhere he could build a real life instead of surviving in someone's shadow. Jennifer thought she was divorcing a failure. Instead, she set free someone just beginning to understand his worth. And that, Marcus realized, was the greatest irony of all. The Silicon Valley restaurant was upscale but understated, where tech executives discussed million-dollar deals without drawing attention. Marcus sat across from two venture capitalists interested in his next project, a new software platform he'd been developing since the divorce finalized. "The TechCore acquisition was impressive," said Linda Chen, a partner at one of the Valley's most respected VC firms. "But this new platform, this is game-changing. The AI integration alone could disrupt 3 different industries." Marcus smiled, more comfortable in his skin than ever before. "That's the goal. I spent too many years being told to think smaller, to be practical. I'm done with that." Linda and her partner, Robert Martinez, exchanged glances. Robert leaned forward. "We want in. 20 million for 15% stake, and we'll leverage our network to accelerate growth." It was a good offer, better than good. Marcus had learned enough about valuation to know when he had the upper hand. 22 million for 12%, and I retain final decision-making authority on strategic direction. Robert laughed and extended his hand. "Deal. You drive a hard bargain. I like that." After the meeting, Marcus walked through downtown Palo Alto. He had moved to California 2 months ago for business opportunities, but mostly for a fresh start. His new condo had hill views, a home office with natural light, and most importantly, no memories of Jennifer. His phone rang. It was Rachel, Jennifer's sister. They had developed an unlikely friendship in recent months, largely because Rachel was genuinely horrified by her sister's actions and had repeatedly apologized. "Marcus, hey. I wasn't sure if I should call, but thought you should know. Jennifer and Daniel broke up." Marcus felt nothing, not satisfaction, not sympathy, just mild curiosity. What happened? Apparently, once the affair wasn't forbidden anymore, they realized they didn't actually like each other. Plus Daniel's wife cleaned him out in their divorce, and he blamed Jennifer for everything getting exposed. He fired her 3 months ago, and she's been struggling to find work. Nobody in marketing wants to touch her after the corporate espionage thing got around. "That's unfortunate," Marcus said, meaning it. He had moved past anger into indifference. "She's been calling me, talking about how she made a mistake, didn't appreciate what she had. I think. Marcus, I think she wants to reach out to you." "Rachel, I appreciate you telling me, but the answer is no. Whatever Jennifer wants, closure, forgiveness, another chance, I'm not interested. I don't hate her. I don't wish her harm. But I don't want her in my life in any capacity." "I understand. I'll tell her to leave you alone." Rachel paused. "You sound good, Marcus. Really good. Happy, even. I am, Marcus said, realizing it was true. For the first time in years, I actually am. After hanging up, Marcus continued walking, eventually finding himself at a small art gallery. He had been trying to broaden his horizons, engage with culture in ways he never had time for during his marriage. As he browsed paintings, a woman around his age approached. "First time here?" she asked. She had kind eyes and an easy smile. "Yeah, just moved to the area a few months ago. Still exploring." "I'm Sarah. I'm the curator. That piece you're looking at is one of my favorites. Local artist, really captures the complexity of transformation and growth." They talked for an hour about art, life, and strange paths that bring people to new places. Marcus found himself laughing genuinely, enjoying conversation without calculation or defense. When Sarah suggested coffee sometime, he said yes without hesitation. Leaving the gallery with Sarah's number, Marcus thought about the journey that brought him here. 6 months ago, he was negotiating terms of his freedom from a marriage that nearly broke him. Now he was building a new company, making new friends, opening himself to new possibilities. That evening, Marcus video called his mother. Her face lit up when she saw him. "Marcus, you look wonderful, honey. California is agreeing with you." "It is, Mom. I closed a major funding deal today, and I think I might have a date this weekend." Diane's eyes filled with tears. "I'm so proud of you. Not for the money or success, but for rebuilding yourself. After everything Jennifer put you through, you could have become bitter. Instead, you became stronger." "I had to," Marcus said. "The alternative was letting her narrative define me. Letting her family's contempt convince me I was worthless. But somewhere in that nightmare, I remembered who I was before Jennifer, who I could be without her." Later that night, Marcus stood on his balcony, looking out at California hills bathed in moonlight. His laptop displayed preliminary code for his new platform. Tomorrow he'd meet with developers he was hiring. Next week, he'd visit his sister in San Diego. The week after, maybe coffee with Sarah would become something more, or maybe it wouldn't, but he was open to finding out. His phone buzzed, an email notification from LinkedIn. Jennifer had viewed his profile. He glanced at it, then closed the notification without clicking through. Her curiosity about his life didn't deserve his attention. Instead, he opened messages and scrolled to his group chat with real friends, Mike, David, and others who supported him through the divorce. Someone shared a meme about resilience, and conversation devolved into silly banter from genuine affection. Mike had texted, "Marcus, when you're rich enough to buy a yacht, I call dibs on being your irresponsible friend who throws parties on it." Marcus typed back, "You assume I'm buying a yacht. I'm thinking more like funding a scholarship program for kids from low-income backgrounds who want to study computer science." David responded, "And this is why you'll end up way richer than people who buy yachts. The universe rewards decent humans eventually." Marcus smiled. These were his people, not perfect, not wealthy or prestigious, just good humans who saw his value before it was profitable to do so. He thought back to Christmas Day, to the moment Jennifer dropped those papers in front of him while her family applauded. It felt like the end of everything then. He sat there, humiliated and heartbroken, wondering how someone he loved could be so cruel. But that moment hadn't destroyed him. It freed him. Jennifer had inadvertently given him the greatest gift, undeniable proof she didn't value him, which finally gave him permission to stop trying to earn her love. Everything that came after, the evidence gathering, legal strategy, counter-petition, those weren't revenge. They were self-preservation, refusing to be destroyed by someone else's cruelty. Jennifer tried to take everything while leaving him humiliated and broken. Marcus simply declined to accept that outcome. The truth was, he didn't shatter Jennifer and her family with his response. They shattered themselves with their own cruelty, assumptions, and greed. Marcus just held up a mirror and made them see what they'd become. A notification popped up. TechCore wanted him to give a keynote speech at their annual conference about innovation and perseverance. The irony wasn't lost on him. A year ago, Jennifer told her family his work was meaningless. Now, major corporations wanted him to share insights with thousands. Marcus accepted the invitation, then closed his laptop. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, opportunities, possibilities. But tonight, he simply stood on his balcony, breathing cool California air, and felt grateful. Grateful for his freedom, his success, the hard lessons that taught him his worth. Grateful that Jennifer's Christmas Day ambush failed to break him and instead broke him free. In the distance, fireworks suddenly erupted from someone's celebration, bright bursts of color against the dark sky. Marcus watched them, thinking about how destruction and creation often looked similar from outside. Jennifer tried to create his destruction. Instead, she sparked his rebirth. His phone rang one final time. It was David. "Marcus, you sitting down? I just got a call from Patricia Knowles. Jennifer wants to modify the divorce settlement. She's claiming she didn't understand the terms when she signed." Marcus laughed genuinely, with amusement rather than bitterness. "Let me guess, now that she knows about the new funding and platform, she wants a piece." "Essentially, yes. She's claiming the business started during marriage, so she should have rights to all future earnings." "David, what does the settlement say?" "That all business assets, including future development of existing intellectual property, belong solely to you. It's airtight. She has no claim. Knowles knows this. She's just fishing because Jennifer is desperate." "Then tell them no. Not even worth a counteroffer. The settlement is final. We both moved on." "You sure? We could probably scare her with another round of legal fees." "I'm sure," Marcus said. "I don't want to fight with her anymore. I don't want her money or apologies or regret. I just want her to be part of my past, not my present." After hanging up, Marcus realized this was the final test, and he had passed. A year ago, Jennifer's attempt to come back for more would have hurt him, felt like another betrayal. Now, it was just background noise, irrelevant to the life he was building. He went inside, closed the balcony door, and prepared for bed. Tomorrow, he'd wake up in his own space, work on projects he was passionate about, spend time with people who valued him, and continue building a life that reflected who he truly was rather than who someone else needed him to be. Jennifer divorced him on Christmas Day while her family cheered, thinking she was winning. What she didn't understand was that she'd been losing him long before that, losing him every time she mocked his dreams, dismissed his worth, or chose her gratification over their partnership. What Marcus did next didn't shatter them through revenge or cruelty. It shattered them through the simple act of refusing to be diminished, of protecting his value, of choosing himself over people who spent years underestimating him. And in the end, that was the most powerful response. Not destruction, but transformation. Not revenge, but renaissance. Not shattering others, but rebuilding himself into something stronger, wiser, and ultimately happier than he'd ever been. Marcus turned off the lights and climbed into bed, his mind already planning tomorrow's work. The nightmare that began on Christmas Day was finally, truly over. And the dream he'd always believed in, of building something meaningful, living authentically, being valued for who he truly was, that dream was just beginning. The ending Jennifer planned for him had become his new beginning. And that, more than any legal victory or financial success, was what true freedom looked like.